Welcome to IQD DINAR News, your go-to source for the latest updates on currency exchange rates, revaluation news, and insights into the Iraqi dinar. Stay informed and ahead of the curve with our timely analysis and breaking developments. The statement by Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani regarding the imminent end of the international coalition's mission in Iraq is significant for several reasons. It touches upon the future of Iraq's security, its relationship with the United States, and the broader geopolitical dynamics involving key regional players like Iran. The dialogue al-Sudani references marks a shift in Iraq's handling of foreign military presence, a development rooted in its desire to assert greater sovereignty while still engaging with international partners on matters of security and development. The international coalition, led by the United States, has had a long-standing presence in Iraq since the 2003 invasion that toppled Saddam Hussein. This coalition was instrumental in fighting terrorism, particularly the Islamic State, ISIS, which took control of large swathes of Iraq and Syria in 2014. While ISIS has been largely defeated in Iraq, remnants of the group still exist, and the country continues to face security challenges. Therefore, the mission of the international coalition has been seen as vital to Iraq's stability. However, as the Iraqi government grows more confident in its own capabilities, it is now initiating talks to phase out this military presence. Al-Sudani's mention of a frank dialogue with the coalition reflects Iraq's desire to transition from being dependent on foreign troops to managing its own security needs. Forming a bilateral committee to oversee the withdrawal suggests a coordinated and systematic approach, rather than a sudden departure of foreign forces. This process allows Iraq to balance its security requirements while also respecting the sentiments of its population, many of whom have expressed discontent over the continued presence of foreign military forces on their soil. The statement that the end of the international coalition's mission does not signal an end to the Iraq-US relationship is crucial. It underscores that Iraq still sees value in maintaining a strategic partnership with the United States, albeit one that is evolving from a military-centric relationship to a more multifaceted one. Al-Sudani highlights that the future of this relationship will involve sustainable security ties and extend into other areas such as economics, culture, society, and science. This shift reflects Iraq's broader ambitions to not only stabilize its internal affairs but also to grow as a regional player with strong international alliances. By focusing on these non-military aspects, Al-Sudani seems to be signaling Iraq's desire for a more comprehensive and equal partnership with the US, one that goes beyond the legacy of war and occupation. In mentioning that Iraq respects the choices of the American people in electing their president and will work with any U.S. administration, Al-Sudani shows Iraq's diplomatic pragmatism. Iraq has had to navigate shifting U.S. foreign policy, particularly with the transitions from the Obama administration, which oversaw the initial withdrawal of U.S. troops in 2011, to the Trump administration, which ordered the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani on Iraqi soil in 2020, and then the Biden administration, which continued discussions on troop reductions. By committing to work with any U.S. president, Iraq is signaling its readiness to adapt to Washington's political landscape while ensuring continuity in its relations with the United States. Another important dimension to al-Sudani's statement is his reference to Iran. Iran wields significant influence in Iraq, both politically and militarily, particularly through its support for various Shiite militias operating in the country. The Prime Minister's remark that Iran supports the political process and Iraq's efforts in combating terrorism speaks to the delicate balancing act Iraq must perform between its two most influential foreign partners, The United States and Iran. The US and Iran are adversaries, yet Iraq maintains relations with both. By emphasizing that Iraq has distinguished relations with both Iran and the United States, al-Sudani is asserting Iraq's unique geopolitical position as a bridge between the West and the Middle East. This dual relationship allows Iraq to pursue its national interests while avoiding becoming overly aligned with any single power. Al-Sudani's declaration that Iraq is the only country in the region with such balanced relations underscores the country's strategic importance. Iraq's location, situated between Iran and several U.S. allied Gulf states, positions it as a key player in the region. By cultivating good relations with both Tehran and Washington, Iraq enhances its role as a mediator and stabilizer in a region marked by intense rivalries and conflict. Additionally, al-Sudani's emphasis on Iraq's internal strength in dealing with terrorism and political challenges reflects his government's efforts to project an image of independence and competence on the international stage. Furthermore, the focus on non-military areas of cooperation economic, cultural, social, and scientific between Iraq and the US indicates that Iraq is looking to diversify its partnerships beyond mere security arrangements. Economic ties with the US, for example, could help Iraq rebuild its infrastructure and diversify its economy, which is heavily reliant on oil exports. Cultural and scientific exchanges could also support Iraq's long-term development goals, particularly in areas like education and technology. These areas of cooperation also show that Iraq wants to broaden its relationship with the international community to create sustainable growth and development that are not solely tied to military support or security concerns. In terms of the broader implications of al-Sudani's remarks, the planned withdrawal of coalition forces reflects a broader trend in Iraq's post-ISIS security landscape. The country is striving to reclaim its sovereignty and reduce its dependence on foreign military support. This withdrawal, however, comes at a time when Iraq still faces significant security challenges, including ongoing threats from ISIS sleeper cells and the influence of militias with strong ties to Iran. The success of this transition will depend on the Iraqi government's ability to manage these internal dynamics while maintaining strong ties with its international partners. Al-Sudani's comments can also be seen in the context of Iraq's broader regional ambitions. By positioning itself as a country with strong relations with both the US and Iran, Iraq is aiming to play a greater role in regional diplomacy. This balancing act will require careful management, especially given the ongoing tensions between Washington and Tehran. However, if Iraq can successfully navigate these relationships, it stands to become a key mediator in regional disputes, enhancing its own security and stability in the process. The Iraqi government's focus on sustainable security relations with the US is also reflective of its long-term goals for independence. Iraq does not wish to remain in a state of perpetual dependence on foreign military assistance. Instead, it is seeking to build up its own security forces and institutions so that it can handle its internal security challenges on its own terms. However, the transition from foreign military support to full self-reliance will not be easy, especially given the enduring threats posed by terrorism and political instability. In conclusion, Prime Minister al-Sudani's remarks on the impending end of the international coalition's mission in Iraq mark a pivotal moment for the country. Iraq is at a crossroads where it seeks to assert its sovereignty, build sustainable and multifaceted relationships with international partners, and balance the interests of powerful players like the US and Iran. By transitioning away from a security-focused relationship with the US to one that encompasses economic, cultural, and scientific cooperation, Iraq is charting a new course for its future.